welcome to the Music Lens podcast with me, Alex Allegra.
And Katie Fee.
Okay, hi, we have a very special guest today. Somebody who has just been working her ass off here in town, and I don't know how you guys haven't picked up on her yet because she deserves to be going so many places. Miss Amanda McCarthy is in studio with us today. Hello.
We need sound effects.
Bum, 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 bum. Little confetti machines. That's what So when we went to see Lindsley L, she handed out little confetti poppers to everybody in the crowd, right? And somebody walked away with a whole pack of them, and I was like, I want those.
Because she did this whole bit of like, the fire marshals won't let us set off the giant ones, but we have little tiny ones that we can hand out. So they had like a whole pack of the big ones.
Yes.
And then someone walked away with them at the end of the night.
That's so funny.
So I was like, how do I get some of those? And I could have, oh my God, we have a guest in the studio. How cute would that have been? How are you today?
I am doing well.
Good.
I feel like I'm finally readjusting back into life after a very crazy 2 months.
Good. So, yeah. Where were you for the last 2 months? Do you want to tell people?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
I put a new album out.
Yes, she did.
So I was in Nashville, obviously. I was in Illinois. I was in New England. I was in Florida. I hitchhiked.
Yeah, she did.
It was a wild time.
I didn't know that was still a thing. I didn't know anyone would actually like pick someone up, but it worked out.
Did you literally just like stick your thumb out and like hitchhike? Like
Literally, I started walking down the street I had my guitar on my back and I had a mic stand as like a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even need the mic stand. I was just like, I need a weapon. And yeah, I was just walking with my thumb out and I had Christian Veach on the phone and I'm like, I just want to let you know that I'm hitchhiking so that you know where I am.
Okay. Amanda has released a new album, and that was one reason we were super excited to have her here with us to talk about that. She is somebody she's a mom, she has done music, she's done a lot of different avenues, and we talk a lot about being an independent artist and a lot of things like gender and ageism in the industry. And so I think you're just a great person to speak on some of these like important things because, again, you've kind of done it all before. And then you've released a debut album after having your kids and having a life and doing things. What?
Sophomore
it is
album?
Your sophomore?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Whose debut album was it? And I was shocked. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Sorry. Your sophomore album out, which is incredible and something we praised on the podcast before in our new music for February.
It came out in March, but it was February.
Yes, I remember this.
Because we do new music from the past month, the first week of each month.
Oh, okay, got yes. But new music. So let's dive in a little bit. Do you want to give a little history of how you ended up where you are right now?
So I'll try to give the short version. I started really diving into music when I was 15 years old. Are we allowed to swear? Is that a
yes?
Went through a whole bunch of shit, and the only thing that let me make sense of it was songwriting. So my aunt at the time, well, she's still my aunt. She's just no longer here with us, but she kind of knew some people who put on shows like in Massachusetts. So she kind of helped me start getting out there. I did my first shows that weren't at school. And from there, we just built it. And eventually I took it on myself. And I went full-time music in 2015. And then I moved here in 2020.
Have you been a full-time musician ever since 2015?
There were pockets. I had like a side job. And then when I moved here, obviously I had to like get on my feet. So I worked at a car auction for a little bit.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah, that was interesting. And then I'll do side work every now and then. Like I'll do some web design for people or album art design.
Awesome. Yeah.
So 2020. So you moved during COVID?
Yes.
Okay.
It was
How was that?
I wouldn't have guessed that. When I first met you, I thought you had been here, and like I didn't know you only moved same time as Christian, right?
Christian moved the year before me. So funny
I
enough,
know.
Christian's kind of the reason I'm here. Like,
oh, really?
So for anyone who doesn't know, me, Tom, Christian, we've been like a unit like forever.
Oh, really?
Like before we moved here.
Aw.
So, we visited Nashville together for the first time, the three of us. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I'll come here every now and then. And Christian was like, I am moving here. And he did. And then to avoid giving the complete like way TMI on my life, we ran into some situations in New Hampshire where we were like, maybe we shouldn't live here anymore. And we were like, well, let's go to Nashville. We'll follow Christian.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you know Sam Ferrara then before, or did you meet her here?
I met her here.
Okay.
And actually, funny enough, I just saw on my Facebook memories, it was 5 years ago today, we wrote Get Out of My Town.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
really?
That's half a decade.
Oh my god.
I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, no, I keep saying, somebody said 2022 the other day, and I was like, oh, okay, so like a year or two ago, and they were like, so like 4 years ago, and I was like,
No.
yeah,
No.
what?
That doesn't feel real.
Right? No, I was like,
No.
oh yeah, that's a quite a little bit of time has passed. I was like, oh yeah. That's why I still say my car is 6 years old instead of almost 10 years old at this point. So
Yeah.
I feel like COVID just like ruined time. Like
Yeah,
there's no
for
concept
sure.
of time anymore.
no,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay, so what did you record your debut album here or in New Hampshire?
It was a mix. I recorded 6 of the tracks at a studio in Maine called Anchor Studio with a producer named Carl Anderson, and I brought, Tom, Christian, and my brother in to play the instruments. And Christian had worked on some of my music before that, but when he was watching Carl do his thing, he just really like absorbed it.
Oh, really?
I only recorded those 6 tracks because I had a donor. I could not afford those 6 tracks at those fancy studio. But Christian, being the absolute wizard he is, he was able to start producing my songs in a way that sounded cohesive to it.
Oh, good.
So it all sounds kind of like it was done in one place, which
Oh,
is really
wow.
cool. Yeah.
Was that something that was like super important to you? Did you advocate for it all sounding like very cohesive?
I don't really know what I was shooting for at the time. I think I was just amazed that he was able to do it that way.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Has there been a big shift in like what you were doing musically from that first album to this album?
I don't know. I can't really say there is. I know my first album, it was called Road Trip. Just like me now, the genre was all over the place. It was
Okay.
like everything thrown into
Yeah.
one. And there was 7 years between that album and this album because I feel like I faced a lot of pressure of trying to pick a genre and like make a project that was just like one genre. And I was like, I can't do it. Like I just jump around so much. But I wanted something a little more cohesive than Road Trip because it was really just like, it went from like Tiki Bar, which is like a tropical song, to like a heavy rock song about assault. So
Oh gosh.
it was like the storyline all made sense, but to a random person listening, they were probably like, what is happening here? So
Gotcha.
I feel like my recent album, I feel like I was finally able to take that variety, but make it a bit more cohesive and make it sound like one project.
For sure. No, I definitely, even though it did like one song sounds like a Hannah Montana song and then one song sounds like a country song and like, but it did very much feel like
Yeah.
a
The transitions
solid
felt
project.
natural.
Yeah, exactly. For sure.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. No, I still can't not say enough about that album. Do you want to go into the process of making that album?
Sure. So my process is there is no process. I recently found out that I have ADHD, which explains why I just kind of go with the flow on everything. I cannot make a plan. I just kind of vibe it out and I get lucky and it works. I try to make a plan and then things divert and I just think on my feet. So all of that's to say, the first song that came out from the album was my first single I released in Nashville. It's called Don't Stop Me. And that came out in 2022. That came out 4 years ago. And I had no concept of this album at the time. Like, the album kind of made itself as it came along.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes sense for what a lot of people do nowadays as far as like releasing singles and stuff. And we're very much in like more single based industry, I feel like right now.
I
where-
actually hate it.
Yeah,
I know. I hate
was
it
gonna
too, but,
say,
like-
yeah. How did you choose to make a full project, like instead of just like, oh, maybe I'll throw out some of these songs and some of these songs?
Once I kind of had enough of the songs out, I kind of was able to kind of visualize the shape of where it was all gonna fall together. And from there, it was just a matter of filling in the cracks. And I already had all the songs to fill in the cracks. It was just the budget to record the songs, really.
Yeah.
And then I had my second daughter in the middle of it. So that put a pause on it, which was a great pause. I was very happy to have that pause. And then, yeah, but I hate the whole single thing. There's 11 tracks on the album, and 7 of them were singles, and there were only 4 new tracks when it came out. And I know that's just what people are doing today, especially people on the indie level. But I was like, man, I wish I miss when, people put out 3 or 4 singles and then the rest of the album was brand new.
Yeah.
And I will probably go back to that approach when I make my 3rd album, whenever that comes to fruition.
If you had to do it the way that you wanted and have a project and only 3 or 4, what would those 3 or 4 singles have been off of this project?
Okay, I got to think in hindsight. I'm going to say Don't Stop Me, Every Bar Downtown, Vodka, and LOL What the Fuck.
Okay. LOL What the Fuck. If you guys have not heard that song, you need to go listen to it right now. We need that to be it is just a perfect TikTok song. Just the LOL What the Fuck. It is just so perfect for TikTok sounds. We need to get that train a moving, people.
I am channeling that all my Delulu will come true Lulu, and that song will take off eventually.
Yeah, because especially when you had that whole hitchhiking situation and you put the song with it, I was like, this is so perfect. It really truly is.
For any
it is so perfect.
Put that there.
Also, just the fact that I can just imagine people coming to shows and just wanting to sing that song. It's just such a fun song. It's just the even when you played it at your release show, it was just this whole moment of well, and also just the last couple shows I've been to with Amanda, I've been fortunate enough to take photos of her, and it's just a joy to take photos for you, first of all, and then just also seeing just your work on stage. It's just oh my God, this is a performer. This is somebody who is should be doing in a normal industry, should be climbing up the ladder. You are just so on the right track with what you're doing, I think.
Thank
you. Yeah.
I never feel like that, so I really appreciate hearing that.
Yeah. How did it feel having a daughter in between? How do you balance being a mom and doing music full time? Because I think a lot of people are very discouraged about having a life outside of music and not having it be their all-consuming everything.
So I don't plan anything, and I just kind of learned as I went along. I had my first daughter, Leah, right before my 21st birthday.
Okay.
And I love her, very much not planned. That's not something I decided to do at 20, but life happens.
Yeah.
And, my biggest fear was, oh my God, okay, I'm not going to have a music career anymore. And I know that's what people were gossiping about, and I feel very lucky and very privileged. I had a strong support in my corner where they were like, no, you're still going to have a music career. So when I found out I was pregnant, I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want people to stop booking me. I stayed very small, and that happened with Anna too, really. And I took that summer to really solidify myself as this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm getting paid. I am an in-demand person in this area.
Good.
And I went back to work for a little bit at my Burger King job, but then the next summer is when I quit and I just did music, and I felt really, really lucky to do that.
Good. Yeah. I think you have a very strong will is what I'm gathering, and I love that, and I love the determination that you've been able to achieve the things that you wanted to set your mind out to. So that's great. Oh, is there a music video or anything that you would either love to do with one of the singles on the album or any of the songs on the album, or it's something that you're working towards? Or
So I have not made a music video since 2013, and I like to pretend that one doesn't exist. I am very self-conscious about myself on camera, and the idea of a music video freaks me out.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I have a lot of ideas in my head, but I feel like whether it's my facial expressions, I just feel like I would not be able to produce what is in my head. And that's something I'm really lucky with Christian, is because I can say the most outlandish stuff to him, this chord needs to sound like a cool blue, and he'll make it sound that way. But like, if I can't make my face look the way my face needs to look or make my body look the way it needs to look, it's going to feel wrong.
Yeah.
And if it's wrong, I don't want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you have synesthesia? Is that what it's called? Like,
Yes.
you do? Okay.
Every chord to me has a color, and they are different based on if it's guitar or piano.
Oh, wow.
Which means every song key has a color too. Like, I can tell you that Sunset is pink.
Okay.
And Every Bar Downtown is golden. And Waste of a Heartbreak is purple.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
People who don't know will probably think I'm on drugs. But
No, I love it. I was like, I got really into like a whole bunch of podcasts I was listening to had like gone on like this rabbit hole of synesthesia and like gone, and I was like so fascinated by it. So
like, I don't see the individual notes like some people do, but I just see like a color aura almost.
That's so cool. Okay.
There's a scream in LOL, what the fuck? Who is it?
That's me.
It's you. I was like, is this like Tom going high pitched, or is it Anna, or like?
Oh no, that was me at the end.
What? So on your credits
Yes.
for your album, is it LOL? What the fuck?
Finish this.
You have Squash and Pumpkin, your cat and your dog. What were their contributions?
So
Katie and I have been trying to figure it out for the longest time.
So if you listen to LOL What the Fuck at the end, you hear like a bunch of chatter, and I will tell you, it was just me, Mark, Tom, and Christian, which for anyone listening, Mark's my brother, Christian's my producer, and Tom's my husband.
We also have an episode with Christian if you want to go see who he is, learn more about him.
And I'll be so honest, it was just us rehashing years of inside jokes, talking shit about people, just all sorts of outlandish stuff. We called my friend Aiden, who's a character, and we had him say some stuff. And then Christian, being a wizard, made it completely inaudible.
Yeah.
But in there, I was like, I think it'd be really funny, like... So, like, I recorded Leah doing something funny, and, like, we got Anna crying. And then, to answer your question, Pumpkin and Squash, my pets, I recorded Squash meowing, and we threw that in there. And Pumpkin, so my dog Pumpkin does not bark. She's the quietest dog ever. It doesn't happen. But there was one random day I wasn't home, and Pumpkin just started barking at my dad. Oh, and he got it on video. So we took that video.
Okay,
and if you hear barking, that is Pumpkin's very rare, non-existent bark.
She was so sweet when I had band rehearsal in Christian's studio, and she got so scared of the drums, and I was oh, Pumpkin, don't leave.
Yeah, she immediately, like, because we recorded some drum video stuff with Sam, and as soon as he started hitting the drums, she just like went in like the little area under the desk by Christian's legs, like, trying to be comforted.
Who's some of the biggest inspirations mainly for this album, but like that you really, do you have a lot of inspirations that you draw from when you're writing songs, or do you really try to like step out and just be your own, like, which I'm sure you do, obviously. I feel like every artist tries to be their own thing, so like
I'm definitely influenced. You know, I've got my mainstream influences, which for this particular album I'd say kind of falls somewhere between like Taylor Swift on some songs, and like Mayday Parade on I'm Not Fine But I'm Okay, and more like, you know, like singer-songwriter-y stuff on like Normal and The Last Word. But then like there's some like lesser known but still popular acts, like Kaylee Shore's honesty in her lyrics influenced a lot of the album. And I know you at least know, but the artist Lou.
Oh yeah.
I've known her since I live back in Boston.
Oh really?
Okay.
And just seeing her not be afraid to try new things really helped me out as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
I feel like this is a shift in topic a little bit because we've been talking more like creative and inspiration and stuff, but you are a full-time independent musician, and something I've wondered is like just how do you go about finding gigs and stuff that like actually makes it where you can be financially like independent as a musician, if that makes sense? Because I know Nashville does not pay well.
No, Nashville is its own animal. I never get off my phone. I'm always looking for, other places I can go to play.
Yeah.
Like I go play in Franklin a lot. That's where I'm going after this, or in Kentucky. And I kind of I supplement that with my Nashville gigs because I can only take so much Broadway in downtown anyway.
That's fair. Yeah.
And then I work with a few booking agents, non-exclusively. One takes 10%, one takes 15%. But the one who takes 15% gets me better paying gigs, so it kind of evens out. And, they'll give me places to go. And actually, one of them hooked me up with this venue in Georgia that is like my second home.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So I've had to get a lot more creative down here than when I lived in New England. Because when I lived in New England, I was just, New England's so small and centered. So I was surrounded by 6 states that pay musicians fairly. And in 2 hours, I could be 2 states over.
Yeah.
Whereas here, I've definitely had to get a little more creative with how I approach that.
Yeah, because one of the things that I don't know how much you've looked at stuff out of town, but I know I think it's 2022, Sammy K and I went to Myrtle Beach, and our goal was just to pay for the trip, but realistically, we can't do that every time because we have to like actually make money to pay bills. So that's always just been something that I've wondered because I know that you travel for stuff. It's kind of hard to like. I know like when you go up north, it's like you can stay with family, and I do that in South Dakota as well. But if you're going to like Wisconsin or other places, then
I've been really lucky to have, especially one particular agent. She's gotten a lot of gigs to provide lodging for me.
Okay.
So that's been a huge help. And like you said, just paying for the trip. Like I travel a lot. I've always traveled a lot. Like when I was in Florida a couple weeks ago, it's because my friend was getting married. So I was like, okay, well then I need to make some money in Florida. And that's one reason I'm really grateful for what I do is because like I can, if I know far enough in advance, I can book a gig basically anywhere. Yeah. And as long as I drive and have my gear, I can get wherever I need to go and do whatever I want to do. And that's why I don't mind playing covers. I know a lot of people are super against it, and it's definitely a personal thing for everyone, but to me it gives me a lot of freedom. And if I'm playing 6 to 8 originals over a 3-hour set, I feel like that's no different than playing a 45-minute set, except I'm making usually a lot more money doing it. So that's how I kind of approach it.
For sure. You are somebody who will literally turn around at like 6 a.m. and go to a gig after being at a social event. And so how do you have the strength and energy to do stuff like that?
I'm sick in the head. That's the only way I can. I mean, I sleep in my car a lot. Okay. I take like car naps, and honestly, I sleep really well in the car. I wake up feeling like really energized.
Good, yeah.
I never feel safe to do that.
Oh, I've learned to do it, with some of the things that I'm just like, okay. Yeah. Like, I spent with photography stuff, too, because I travel so much for those things. Like, they're not going on stage for another hour. Car nap, because I just drove 3 hours to get here. Like,
I definitely try to find, like, like a Buc-ee's or a Love's Travel stop and park, like, right in front. And Tom has my location at all times.
Good, okay.
Yeah. And I think now, after my hitchhiking experience, I think Christian does too. So people always know where I am.
Yeah, that's good. Is there somewhere else that you'd really like to take the album, or are you kind of on to the next project?
I feel like there's this curse that a lot of musicians go through, and it's just like we put something out there and it's like, okay, what's next? Yeah. Like, for some people, the album is like the beginning of an era. For me, I find they're always like an end of an era.
Oh, okay.
Like by the time it's out, it's like, okay, I've already lived this experience. Like,
right.
What's next? Like right now, if I had, $5,000, $7,000 pop out to me tomorrow, I have plans to record like an album that's produced, but like all acoustic and really involving like a lot of like my influences from when I was in choir and just like super stacked harmonies and more like less like I'm writing a hit and more just like storytelling acoustic music.
Gotcha. Yeah. What is your favorite kind of like writing session? Is it more like where you can be like really weird and out there and fun, or is it like when you're writing more for commercial like success almost?
I wouldn't say it matters one way or the other, but for me, like some songs just write themselves, whether, I'm by myself or whether I'm co-writing with someone. Some songs just write themselves. And to me, those are like the most magical sessions.
Okay. Yeah. Well, because you mentioned the chorus stacking thing, and you kind of did that in Waste of a Heartbreak for the song. Like, how did you get the idea to do all of that? Because I think we talked about how cool that was. So
I'm going to tell you about Waste of a Heartbreak.
Okay.
This was not even supposed to be on the album. It was the last song that happened. And basically I wrote it and I was like, these are some of the most insane lyrics I've ever written. And okay, I'll give some of the backstory. So I spoke to my ex-boyfriend for the first time in 7 years.
Oh,
Okay.
I've been on some crazy mental health healing journey, and it was just a horrible breakup. And, I talked to Tom about it a lot, and I'm like, I just need to confront this and move on with my life.
okay.
So I sent him an email because he had me blocked. And, but then he unblocked me and we spoke, and like, we're chill now. But that song was kind of like just tackling that. And the first song I ever wrote about him when I just had feelings for him was a song from my previous album called Can't Look Back. So if you listen and you hear What a Shame, the One Who Got Away, that's from Can't Look Back. And originally my plan was to just kind of put that in the end of it. Like I heard visions of like What a Shame stacked on top of each other, kind of like The Subway by Chappell Roan. But then I realized one of my other songs fit over it. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And then everything you're hearing in that like section are my old songs stacked on top of each other, except for one of them, which is one of his songs.
Oh, okay.
And this is my husband's favorite song that I've ever written.
Oh, really? I know. I see a lot of your TikToks of like you and Tom, and just knowing the two of you of like, stop playing your old boyfriend stuff, and just knowing you two, it's very funny. But like, if you didn't know that you guys had such a great relationship, like it would be like
it definitely sounds a lot more insane than it is. There's actually one song I wrote about him that I never released, and now that Waste of a Heartbreak is out, I'm like, well, I've moved on with my life. And Tom is like, but wait, you still have to put Haunt Me out. So I don't know, maybe that'll happen.
That's so funny. Yeah, how does like relate like, because I always feel like whenever people get married and now they're happy and stuff, it's like they don't want to go back and revisit, and like then it's just like their music kind of stays very stagnant of sorts. And so you still have a lot of very like raw emotion in your songs, but like, I mean, maybe you are I don't think you're caught. I don't want to speak for you. So I'm like, but you seem very adjusted to the life that you're living now currently. So like, is that like just a lot of therapy? Is that like, just because I know I can't really process, and you kind of said that too, I can't like fully get over a feeling until I've written a song about it. And I've even talked to my therapist about that. And she's like, okay, so why are we not writing more songs? And I'm like, I don't know.
For me, my thing is I can't get over it until the song's released. Okay. So I can write it like, and I'll tell everyone I'm in therapy right now. And, Waste of a Heartbreak specifically, I was talking with my therapist a lot about. She's like, well, isn't writing it enough? I'm like, nope, it has to be released. And I promise you, once it's released, I'm going to come back and I'm going to be cleared of it. And that's exactly what happened.
Okay.
And I've also found that I kind of write, as far as people and like events, I kind of write a few years behind. Okay. So I won't write something in the moment, but I can process it more later. And that's kind of when it all comes out. And then, obviously there's not any new men entering my life because I'm happily married, but I have been writing a lot about like my mental health and getting older and just what that looks like from different perspectives.
Yeah. How have you felt about getting old? We talk a lot about, I already hate being 27, and I'm just like, and I've talked to a lot of my therapist and my partner and my mom about just like, how do I just sit and be like content, because I'm only gonna get older at this point, and like I need to find a place to like actually like get over this hump of like the ageism in the music industry, and like either accept it or I'm gonna be miserable. So like, how do you combat that, especially as a full-time independent musician? Like,
can I answer this with a story?
Yes.
And this story enrages me, but I think it's so important to tell for other musicians, especially younger musicians. I was in college. I was, I think, 19 years old, maybe 20, 19 or 20. I was in college, and I had put in for this opportunity, and they said they don't want you because you're too old. And for like, my whole world just got shaken up. I had a breakdown. I dropped out of college because I was like, I'm running out of time. If I'm going to be a musician, I need to do it now. And I look back on that young girl, me, and I'm just like, that should have never happened.
No.
That should, and not for anything. I look young now for my age. I'm 32. I probably look 26 or 27.
You do, yeah.
And when I was 19, I certainly looked like I was 15 or younger. The summer before I went into college, somebody asked me if I was in middle school or high school.
Katie got that. Katie still gets that a lot. Anytime I'm with her at the bar, they still like very much ID us, because the worst was when we were at a bar and some guy came up to me. He was very drunk and said, "Are you her mom?" I was like, "On what planet? On what planet?
Like, is this your daughter?" I'm like, no,
like,
this is a 21 and over bar
absolutely
too. So like,
also, how old do you think I am? Because I also know I don't look my age. So
I did have someone think Leah was my sister once. That was really interesting.
you guys do look very similar, but like I think it's the genes that have just gotten passed down.
yeah.
But yeah, to make a long story short, I've spent most of my career feeling like it's just like an hourglass and everything's going down. It's been a very large insecurity of mine, and it shouldn't be.
No.
And I truly believe that with millennials kind of rising up into dominating the world, I truly believe we're going to start seeing less of that. I think we will start seeing more people, make it in their 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
I think of, whenever I feel down, I think of 3 huge people who broke in their 30s, and that's Ashley McBride, Lizzo, and Rachel Platten.
Oh, I didn't know what Lizzo was. Okay.
Lizzo, I think, was 32.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I definitely think we are seeing much more of a trend of that. And like, there was a time when I was like in my early 20s when I was starting to feel like, okay, I really need to now get on it. Like, I just graduated from college, all this stuff, and getting into like my mid 20s when I was really feeling the pressure. But now I say these things to people that are older than me, and they're like, you're fine, you're still like young, and like you still have plenty of time. Like, there is no rhyme or reason to stop the music stuff. So like you say, I can't believe somebody ever said that to you at 19 or 20 though. Like, I just noticed I was getting less gigs from being 16 to being in my early 20s, because I was just like everybody else at that point, is what it felt like, instead of like when I was 16 and stuff. And maybe that's also just living here in Nashville and like there's so many people lined up. But I also just was like in high school and college, everyone was like, yeah, like it's so cool that she's so young and doing all this stuff. So like I was always getting booked. Whereas like in my early 20s, I was like, okay, well now I'm like just one of all the artists that were getting booked. So it's just like,
I feel that on both sides of the sword, because where I started so young too, we definitely played like, young musician, like 15-year-old, and people were like, wow, so impressive.
yeah.
But then at some point, like, when I wanted to, take on like more professional gigs that were paying more, it was like I kind of had to shift out of that and be like, yeah, I'm 21, but I can play all these same songs that the 40-year-old dude plays.
Exactly.
And it's like, I learned, and this is kind of a good thing and a bad thing, I learned from a very young age how to morph myself to different environments.
I've done that a lot too, but my therapist said you need to learn to stop, because I don't think you know who Alex is. And like, that was a really hard look in the mirror. And I was like, I don't, you're right, because I have just fit what is needed in any room I go into. And it's just been a camouflage this whole time.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, who am I? Which is also hard to ask a musician that, because I was always trying to define myself as somebody who wasn't like somebody else in this industry. And just like, it's always so hard to just stand and be like, yes, like it is okay to write the things that I write about. Just because somebody else has already done it doesn't mean that I don't have value in this industry. So
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a good skill though for doing like cover gigs though, because you learn how to like kind of figure out what the crowd is into and kind of pick songs based off of that and stuff too. That's
another thing I got good at from a really young age, was just learning how to make a crowd happy. And something that I struggle with in Nashville is that venues want different music than what their clientele wants.
Yeah.
So what is ingrained in my DNA is to make the crowd happy. that doesn't always translate to management being happy.
Yeah.
Whereas, I'm used to an environment where the places that hire me trust me. They're hiring me because they trust me to give the room what it needs.
Right.
And that trust with many bars down here just isn't there. There's a big thing on Broadway right now. A lot of rock bands from a certain bar just got fired because they decided they need to be all country, and it's been a whole, brouhaha, literally.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I cannot imagine being a venue owner and not wanting my clientele to be happy.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like a request-based thing, like people come up and request songs.
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to
what do
say?
you do?
No.
Yeah.
Sorry, no. Like, I'm not going to do that.
They're going to go elsewhere and spend their money elsewhere. Not only, like, you're not getting tips as a musician, but then the establishment's not getting money from them spending money at the bar. So.
And I mean, I'm not egregious. Like, if someone came up to me in an Italian restaurant and asked for a Lil Jon, I'd be like, no, I can't do that.
Right.
No, I want to see that. Is there anything else that you would like to address here, Amanda, before we sign off? And any new projects you've got coming up, any new exciting things, or just like something that like you really want to like touch on before we...
There are some bonus tracks from the Looking for the Light album.
Yeah.
One of them is out now. It's called Green. It didn't fit sonically, but it fit very much lyrically.
Okay.
And then there will be more coming. So if you are watching or listening, just keep an eye on my socials and my Spotify.
Yeah. Awesome.
Is there any, I guess we've kind of covered some advice already for other artists, but is there any other advice that you can think that would be good for fellow independent artists to hear?
Find the right balance between being professional and being you. Like, make sure you have the website, the EPK, quality recordings, all that stuff. But don't let anyone tell you who you need to be. And if you want to fit a certain vibe, fit it in a way that works for you. Like, even when I started playing cover gigs, like, I'd be like, okay, well, I hate this song by this popular artist, but I'll just pick another song by this popular artist. And I made it work in a way that felt authentic to me. And that's the only way you're going to survive in this industry, because you can only be a chameleon for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Where can people find you online?
I am basically anywhere online. If people go there, I'm there. All my social media sites are under Amanda Mick Music. And on streaming platforms, it's Amanda McCarthy.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, you can find our podcast at the Music Lens Podcast on all the things. If you have any other questions or things that you want Amanda to answer, you can send them to her, or you can send them to us at the Music Lens Podcast at gmail.com. You can find Alex at Alexalegra Music and myself at Katie Fee Music, and we will see you next time.
Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.